Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. I hope you're having a wonderful afternoon. So today I need to make an arrangement for a baby. And so they asked that we make it in a container, a baby container. So this is a little mug and it says Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and it's in pink. And so that's what we're going to do this arrangement in today. Just a little baby mug. I'm going to start out with this is just fresh floral foam that has already been soaked in water. I'm just going to trim down these edges with my knife, and all that's doing is just helping. I don't know why we do that, we just do it. So I trimmed off the edges. I'm going to start out with a white hydrangea as my base flower. I like hydrangeas because they fill up that space and they're just really pretty. I removed all of the greenery, and I'm going to trim up this oasis just a little bit. I'm afraid once I put that that hydrangea in that oasis, or that floral foam, it's going to stick up too far. So I trimmed that up just a little bit so it wouldn't stick up quite so far. Okay, so there's our little hydrangea. I'm going to take a little bit of this Aurelia foliage and I am going to ring that hydrangea with this little bit of foliage. So I've just taken it and cut that little stem at an angle, and I am going to stick that right in to that oasis, or fresh flower foam. This is actually not Oasis brand, it's actually a different brand. So it's really not Oasis, but we've always called fresh flower foam Oasis. So it just comes out. But it is just a fresh flower foam, and it holds water and it makes designing flowers really easy. So I just added a little bit of Aurelia to that arrangement. Next I'm going to come in with this pretty pink Gerbera daisy. It's so funny, I had someone say the other day, I never called them Gerberas, I always called them Gerbers. And so, I don't know, maybe it's a southern thing, we always call them Gerbera daisies, but that's how it's spelled. And so I don't know why I call it that, but that's how I've always pronounced it. So I just took a little piece of wire and I wired that stem. I'm putting it down in this oasis, and so I just wanted to make sure that his little head stayed upright and pretty. So I just kind of nestled that flower right down in there. I also have a couple of pretty Mondial pink roses. Now for me personally, a Mondial rose is one of my very favorite varieties. It has lots of petals. It's a hardy, pretty rose. And so we really like Mondial roses. Mondials come in this really pretty pale pink, and they also come in a white. So what I'm doing is just removing any petals that aren't pretty. Taking my knife and cutting that stem at an angle. And then I'm just tucking that right over into that flower foam. Now when you put fresh flower foam down into a container like this, be sure that you, Todd, that's enough, buddy. It's okay. Sorry, I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, so when you put fresh flower foam down into a container, be sure that you put it into a container that has a really good reservoir that'll hold some water so that you're able to add water to that foam. These are mini calla lilies. The wonderful part about these callas, they have a little soft pink center down in the throat. Just so pretty, and I thought would be very sweet in this arrangement. So I'm going to take a couple little stems of these callas and tuck them into this little arrangement. And all I'm doing is just kind of nestling that little calla down in between the petals of the hydrangea and just tucking that in. I also have some sweet mini carnations. You've seen me work with spray roses and standard roses. The mandala is a standard rose. A spray rose has little tiny roses on a stem, just like these mini carnations do. Mini carnations are just a miniature of a standard carnation. Now what I'm going to do is I'm holding this calyx just like this. I'm just going to fluff that little flower with my finger. You can do that. You can do a standard carnation that exact same way. Take my knife, cut it at an angle, tuck that little flower right down in that flower foam. This is a bud. I'm just going to leave it as a pretty bud and tuck it right in. I like carnations. Carnations are not everyone's favorite, but I really like a carnation. It's a long-lasting flower, and it's really just a sweet little flower. And they come in some really fun colors. All right, so lastly, I'm gonna take, this is called tree fern. It's kind of a little hairy fern. I'm gonna just take and fill in some of my space with just small pieces of this little tree fern. Just press that right down into that flower foam, that fresh floral foam. And really my main goal is to make sure that I'm covering all that foam. I don't want it to show. Oops. Now the nice part about this arrangement is once the flowers are gone, they have a sweet little mug that they can use. And so I always like to do an arrangement that's being sent as a gift in a container that can be reused. That's always nice. All right, guys, I'm going to grab just a little bit of ribbon. All right, guys, so I am going to finish this arrangement off with just a touch of this ribbon. So this ribbon, it's a white base with a pink print. And it's got baby girl, it's got some little diaper pins, and it's got some little daisies. But I thought I would just do a couple of small loops of ribbon. And what it's going to do is finish off the front of this arrangement. You see there's just kind of a naked space there. So I'm just taking my ribbon, and I just made 2 loops, one on each side. Take a little piece of wire and tie that bow. I'm going to take my fingers and just kind of crimp that ribbon just to get that, just a little bit of movement. Now I don't think I'm even going to need a pick. I'm just taking that wire and pressing it right down into that floral foam. Just like that. And there's our finished product. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us today. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you like this video, you can always subscribe to our channel. We have lots of videos that come out each week. And if you have any questions, be sure to drop that in the comments. We are happy to answer any questions you might have. Guys, you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you really soon.